Well, you crossed the gap. Nope.
How's it going, guys? It's Alex, and I am here today with my Traxxas 1/16 trucks. So we're going to go ahead and do a little build breakdown on these two and give you a run through of what's all done to them. They're both pretty simple, but I figure, you know, some people might be interested, so we're going to go ahead and give you guys a rundown on what they have done to them. So we'll start off with the Slash. So this guy started off as a brushed 4x4 1/16 Slash. It's been since converted, but basically we'll start off with what you can see right now. I've just got a custom Prographix body on it, a custom painted one. The paint didn't turn out the best on it, but for some reason I was having issues with the printing on it disintegrating with the paint. I don't know, we don't need to get into that. I got some of the classic silver wheels for it. Figured the classic silver was a nice look as opposed to the red and the red striped ones. They look kind of tacky to me, but I went ahead and tossed on some green Traxxas lug nuts. They have a nice, like a better serrating than the stock ones, so they stay on better, but also they obviously tie into the appearance nicely. I have a light kit on the front and on the rear. I will add a link to the company that makes it. It took like 2 months to get the kit, and they weren't communicating with me, which was frustrating. So I don't know, I guess order at your own discretion. Ended up working great, but it was pretty frustrating how long it took. But it was pretty cheap, so not the end of the world, you know. But I wanted a light kit on it. I don't know why, but Traxxas decided to make them for the Summit and the Revo and not the Slash, so I found an option. But yeah, so that's the exterior. We'll go ahead and take off the body. So first things first, I dyed the chassis black, and I think it just looks so much better. It contrasts so much better against the green. The gray's never been my favorite. I think the gray looks kind of tacky, like the Traxxas gray chassis color. And dyeing it was pretty simple. If you guys are interested, we could do a video on dyeing chassis. I've dyed the chassis on this, my mini Revo, and my Slash. Doesn't hold up 100% as well as I'd like it to. If you're thrashing around like gravel and stuff, it'll start to scratch it up over time. But overall, it's pretty durable, and at least from the top, it'll always stay nice and pristine, where you're not gouging against rocks and stuff. So, yeah, that's that. I stripped the whole thing down and dyed the chassis black, and then I went a little, I don't know, I got some extra credit for myself by getting these green Traxxas Rally links. I dyed some of the stock links black and they turned out fine, but I found out you could get these green links from the old Traxxas Rallies, and I had to have them when I saw them. So I got the front and rear links. They've been discontinued for years, but I ended up finding them at my local hobby shop. They had a real dusty, faded pack of each of them, and they'd clearly been sitting there for a while. So luckily I managed to get those, and I love how they look. It's just such a simple thing, but it turned out so nice, and yeah, real happy with those links. Hopefully I don't break them because they're not going to be easy to replace, but I've got the black ones that I dyed if I need to, so not the end of the world. On this Slash, currently I'm still running stock control arms and knuckles. I don't do a ton of hard driving with this thing. I kind of just mostly built it just to mess around with it, like on pavement and dirt and stuff. I haven't been doing much bashing with it because, I don't know, I have the Revo for that. So I haven't had a need to replace the axle carriers or control arms yet. So for now, those are being left alone. Eventually, I'm sure I'll swap those out, but that's where we're with those for now. On the rockers, I swapped all those bushings to bearings, as well as the steering bell crank bushings. Those come plastic, and the bearings make them, the control arms and the steering move a lot more freely and smooth. So that was a nice upgrade, and those are pretty cheap. I'll put the part number and size of the bearings in the description as well. I'm running a Hot Racing bell crank. It's a metal bell crank to give you less slop in the steering, and it's adjustable as well. I am running the Traxxas GTR shocks, and I played around with the spring rate a bunch to get a spring rate that I have the collars adjusted up most of the way down right now, so it's real soft, but it's set up really well right now where driving around on the road, you got a lot of suspension chassis movement, and it looks nice and it feels good. But if I need to stiffen it up, I can drop the collars down a pretty good amount and do that. But I'm running the single stripe grays in the front and single stripe blacks in the rear. I don't remember the exact ratio off the top of my head, but I'll add it in the description like I said. And then I'm running a Savox Servo. It's a metal gear servo. The stock ones tend to strip out the gears eventually, and so this was a nice upgrade. It's faster and it's more durable. Then I've got the Traxxas, the VXL 3M motor and ESC set up in this thing. Definitely too much power for the Slash. They're not very stable, but it's, you know, it's just kind of a car built to mess around. Whatever. Who knows? I don't know. It has a Traxxas center diff. And then front and rear diffs are shimmed because these diffs tend to strip out if you don't shim them when you go brushless. I have one shim in the front, two in the rear, and you want to put that on the side of the diff that pushes the diff tighter against the input gears. I'll put part numbers for those shims as well. There's some team associated shims that work perfect for it that I use on this in the Revo. But yeah, so aside from that, I mean, just simple stuff like the TQI receiver and remote so that I have TSM and little things like that. But overall, this car is not, you know, anything crazy. It's just a fun car. I wanted to build a mini Slash, and this is the outcome of it. So that's that. And now on to this. Which is a mini Revo. I know it looks like a Summit. It started off as a brushless mini Revo, and I had converted it to a Summit. I ended up realizing the Summit you couldn't do a ton with it. It was kind of just too tippy, and I don't know. I liked the Summit body and the light kit and everything though, so I kept that, and then I put the mini Revo wheelie bar on the Summit rear bumper, which is nice because I can keep the wheelie bar but still have the light kit and everything. But yeah, so I have this VXL Summit body on the Revo. So for starters, same thing, black chassis, black dyed chassis, love it, looks fantastic in my opinion. I am running the RPM green control arms. They're much more durable. I'm running the RPM axle carriers or knuckles, GPM links. They're adjustable links, which is nice. You can tweak your camber and toe how you want it to. I've broken a couple, but every time I've broken them, it's been in a situation where I'm not surprised. Like I'm driving it pretty hard and it takes a real hard hit against something, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. A plastic link would have snapped too. I'm running GPM skid plates. They're mismatched because I had blue ones initially and changed my mind and wanted to go green. Need to swap the rear out still, but I don't know. I put those on there to protect the diff casings a bit because this thing I take more to like skate parks and stuff, and it gets bashed pretty hard. So I wanted to have something protecting the underside of it. I am running some steel axles on it. Honestly, I got them off eBay. They've been working fine. I probably won't put the link there because I don't really love that they're cheap eBay ones, and I don't want to promote something that I'm not entirely sure on the quality yet because I haven't driven it a ton since I put the axles on. But, you know, so steel axles, steel center drive shaft, Traxxas center differential, VG Racing springs. These VG Racing springs are phenomenal. I absolutely recommend them for every vehicle you have they make them for. I literally have them on every truck I could put them on, and I love them. The only problem is they were a little stiff for the Mini Slash because that requires a softer spring rate than the Revo does, so I couldn't use them on that one. I tried it, but it was just a little too stiff. They work, but it's just stiffer than I would have preferred. I have the Savox servo on this one as well. I have the front and rear diffs shimmed on this one as well. Aside from that, nothing else too crazy. I have the bearings and the rockers and the Hot Racing Servo Saver bell crank bearings on that one as well. You know, once you find a formula, you kind of stick with it. But yeah, so that's the gist of this one. This one is what actually got me back into RCs last year. I picked it up because it looked like a fun car to get back into RCs with, and this thing has been so fun. It's so durable, it's fast, it's fun to thrash around in skate parks, dirt, whatever, like, you know, gravel areas, whatever you want to rip it around in, it's a blast. And you can toss it in your back seat and it doesn't take up much space. It's just it's nice to have a fast but small car that you can bring places and throw in your trunk and forget about it and whatever. And the Mini Revo is definitely a great truck for that. So I'm still running stock wheels and tires until I wear these out. Then I'll go with the Proline trenchers they make for them. But until then, these have been perfectly fine. I also... so I run Ovonic 3S's in this and the Mini Slash. I have some 2S's as well, but mainly I run this 1450C or 1400 milliamp 50C 3S. Works great, lasts long enough, love it. But yeah, so that's my 1/16 overview, I guess. These 1/16 trucks are fun. They're definitely not like race cars, and they're not gonna, blow your mind, but they're just a lot of fun for the money, and I really enjoy driving them around. Even when I'm going around playing with my Sledge and my Max and all my Slashes, like, those are a blast, but I still come back to these, drive them, and I enjoy them every time. It's, can't get away from them. So if you have an opportunity to grab one of these for cheap, I highly recommend it. The Revos handle a lot better, and they're a lot more usable. The Slashes tip over super easy because they're a lot more narrow, and they just kind of traction roll every time you blink. The Mini Revos don't, so if you want something more capable and fun and fast, definitely go with the Mini Revo. But yeah, so that's that. Hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer all of them. Yeah, thanks for watching.